Selling part of your operations is simply the other side of the transaction from purchase. I mentioned Mercycare earlier. Prior to their purchase of aged care operations, Mercycare sold Mercy Hospital to St John of God Healthcare. And there are many other examples of sales and acquisitions, particularly in aged care and the health sector in the last 5 years. As most of the risk in a sale or purchase transaction is on the side of the buyer, there is typically less risk and obligation for the seller. However, depending on the scale of the transaction, there are still critical factors that the board and the CEO need to consider. For not-for-profits providing human services, the first and often the most complex issue is the response of the beneficiaries or clients. It's important that the transaction is in the best interests of beneficiaries and is seen to be in their best interests, or it can become complex and difficult. For example, when governments transfer out the provision of disability services, the process of communication and consultation is critical to the success of the transaction. For not-for-profit organisations, I believe leaders also have an obligation to support the buying entity to get off on the right foot. They should ensure that clients are established in the care of the new provider quickly and effectively. In addition, it's very important for the selling organisation to undertake financial due diligence to determine the impact of the loss of these services on the financial performance of remaining operations. When assets are sold, this immediately impacts revenue, staffing and overall productivity, and you'll need accurate information on all of these costs prior to the transaction. Finally, it's very important organisations consider the reputational risk that comes with selling services. The sale of operating activities that are peripheral to your organisation's purpose will have little impact. But the sale of services which are seen as core to who you are could appear wrong, self-serving or even harmful, and would have a huge impact on your support. The sale of any significant amount of operations is something that would be typically decided at the board level and planned and monitored closely by the board and the executive team.